जय श्री माता जी। हम सब श्री माता जी की चरणों में प्रणाम करके अपनी कुंडली चढ़ा के सामूहिक बंधन लेंगे। We humbly bow down to Shri Mataji's lotus feet, raise your kundalini and take bandhan. अपनी चित्त को सार में रखते हुए ध्यान में रहेंगे और श्री माता जी की अमृत वाणी आत्मसात करेंगे। नाउ वी लिसन श्री माता जी से अमृत वाणी।
Also, you have such nice places on the outskirts. On the outskirts, you have really very nice places in Sydney, and this picnicking has helped you to make your collectivity better. That's how they started having picnics, and in the picnics they developed the collectivity, which is very beautiful to be one with the nature, see the bounty of the nature and the variety that they have. It's a innate feeling inside always that you should be one with the nature, that you should enjoy the nature. I mean, it's maybe because they say we have evolved from animals, so we like nature. But it sobers down so much, your temperament, everything. When you see the nature and start seeing it, how it obeys the laws which govern it. Now see, if you see every leaf, any leaf, is not comparable with another leaf. If you put it under microscope, they'll be all differently built. So the variety is so much in the nature, but still how they abide together. And the greatest thing they have is that always the desire to get the sunlight. And every leaf, every branch tries to give chance to another leaf and another branch that they all get the sunlight. If you have to see collectivity, really you see in a jungle or in a place like this. How they live together and with such happiness, with such unity. They are all under the complete control of the divine laws, no doubt. And they are so much enjoying. It's only the human beings who have got this freedom. The will, free will as they call it. If you want to go to heaven, you can go to heaven. If you want, you can go to hell. And that is what we are facing now in modern times. That if we do not take course to sensible things, we may be all wiped out of the surface of the earth. I've been telling since long that it affects our genes. Supposing a father is an alcoholic, the son also gets it in his genes. So many things. Most of the vulnerability that you have, or what you can call the susceptibility, is coming from these genes. Now the susceptibility to do something wrong, always to take to something bad, whatever is destructive, comes from the gene. And it was said that the Asians have two genes which protects them, bars them for doing something wrong. Might be the culture is such, I don't know. And the aboriginals and the people who have lived in the nature have only one gene that protects. But for white skin, there is no gene to protect. Can you imagine? They are left to winds. Whichever way the wind blows, they start blowing. So it's such a big problem with the white skin. Also they think they are the higher race, but they are not according to the biological process, you can say. You can see the Germans, what they did. I mean, killing children in the gas. But how could they do it? I mean, it's just unimaginable. The way they have killed people in all the African countries, also especially in America, the Spanish. Unimaginable. The way they have treated other people everywhere. Cruelty comes to them first. Very easily they can become cruel. They take to bad things very easily. There are some Sahajogis who came to Sahajoga, stayed in Sahajoga for so much, and again they have taken to their bad life. So now it is very much to be understood that you have to be very careful and cautious. The bhoots will first catch you. That's why it's so much schizophrenia everywhere. If you schizophrenia is so much true in America. So much. All kinds of horrible diseases they have. I can't understand how they got it. So one has to be very careful that after coming to Sahaja Yoga, you must stick on to your sublime self, to your glorious self. Otherwise, it is dangerous. One thing about Sahaja Yoga, I was amazed that how it cleanses the gene. Actually, gene in a Persian language is called like a bhoot, gene. But this whole theory is now showing that white-skinned people are more vulnerable to all kinds of things. And I think they are the ones who have suffered a lot. Because there must have been a big fight within. What is this nonsense we are doing? Why should we do that? And that's why so many of them started seeking. So many of them. The seeking is so much suggested in Indian culture, everything. But nobody did that the way you people were seeking. It's creditable. Because you realized perhaps that this is a terrible life we are into. Why are we here? So unprotected. And that's why we have so many Sahajogis all over the world who have taken to Sahaja Yoga and are studying themselves and are progressing beautifully. That means the genes which we are not protecting have become protective. One thing. And those genes which make you vulnerable to things also become clean, and you cannot get to those things. They said the people who get AIDS are the ones who have genes like that. They are vulnerable to AIDS. So this new dimension that science has exposed before us tells us two things, that by living like a white country, people saw the hell itself. And that's why they have taken now with such a big jump to Sahaja Yoga. And your duty is to see that you get more out of all that hell. Around you, if you see, when you read the newspaper, you are shocked. It's not the accident by which people die, but all kinds of diseases, murders, this, that going on, God knows, such violence. Especially in America, you will be surprised that I can't even wear my wedding ring there. My husband doesn't allow me to wear my wedding ring. Even Mangal Sutra. And what goes wrong with them? I don't know, that they take to violence without any difficulties. We had one gentleman who came from America. He had already murdered his brother and murdered his mother also. Mother and brother, both. I said, how could you do that? And so many you will find in England who have killed their children. And the children, when you see them, nothing but you develop a kind of a special sweet feeling, isn't it? Very sweet. It's in Sanskrit called as Vatsalya. In our all Indian languages we use that word Vatsalya. But the feeling that you get when you see a little child. They have described Shri Krishna as a little child. They have described Shri Rama as a little child. Also Christ as a little child has been described in the Indian churches. Beautiful. Very beautifully he is being described. One song, one poem was there, written very beautifully, that Christ as a child, who can turn the whole universe with his own finger, was putting his own finger in the mouth as a child. Such beautiful poetry is written about children, how they behave, but not so much in the English language, Spanish language. They go more for these love affairs and things like that. But what about children? They never describe children. How beautiful they are. I think I have read hardly about 10 or 12 poems. One of them I remember is The Toys. Such poet says that he got very angry with his child and he beat him. And the child was crying, and then the child went off to sleep with the little doll maybe or something. And when he saw him sleeping like that, he says to God that maybe I might do lots of mistakes and you might punish me, but when I am dying, then you must forgive me as I have forgiven my son. That is a very beautiful song, was written by him. But still the description of a child, how when he runs, when he runs, when he jumps, when he walks. Beautiful songs about Shri Rama. तुमको आता है वो ठुमकत चलत रामचंद्र, आता है क्या? Huh? Yes. Now these words are such that we cannot explain in English, but when they walk, started walking, so their body, moves in a way that's called thumakna in Hindi language. So described by Tulsidasa that Shri Rama is walking in that way, thumaka chalata Ramachandra. And his anklets are singing. And then he is looking round, and every pebble on which he is walking is reflecting him, like the souls in which he is reflected. Even Sri Krishna's childhood is described very well, his mischiefs, everything. All these things have been described, and this is called as one of the moods. As we have, 9 moods described. One of the moods is Vatsalya, Vatsalya Rasa. Or Rasa means Rasa means the essence of a poetry where that gives you a feeling, is Rasa. This is not there in the Western idea, you see. But they just think of romance only, nothing else. So they don't have rasa in their mind. We have 9 rasas, out of which this Vatsalya ras is the best. We have bhakti ras, when you have bhakti for someone. Also we have shringar. But shringar is only between husband and wife, and also just before marriage, once marriage is settled, or you are going to marry someone, so that's the shringar rasa. Like that, we have also bibhatsa, means grotesque. See something very ugly, describe the death, or something you describe the vultures eating the corpses. All this is also described as bibhatsa. So we have 9 ragas, 9 rasas, and these rasas are, you must have seen in some dances they must have shown. One is also of anger. And when a person gets anger, you see how his anger is expressed and in words. But then later on, this thing, this anger is also depicted, and all these rasas are depicted in the form of dancing. Dancing also, which is a very, very fast, we can say fast movement, and these fast movements are also shown these all 9 rasas can be shown in one dance. See how one changes from one to another and then to another. So it is a very deep understanding of human beings. But as far as the children are concerned, I think Indians love them the most. They love them. But because of their love, they discipline. If you love your children, you must discipline them. Today, I just wanted to tell you that the children are to be brought up in a proper way. That means you shouldn't spoil them, firstly. Now, we have problems of children who came to see me, and they are telling that these children cannot fit into the pattern of our Saj Yoga school in Dharamshala. So one child is a very adamant child, extremely adamant, and you tell him something, he goes on more doing the same thing. And if you say, boy, I'll punish you, all right, don't give me food, don't do this. He is so adamant and he has developed this kind of a funny situation. Now definitely such a child, we should say, is possessed. He is not a normal child, a possessed child, and one has to deal with that child in that manner. Another child could be who is a back number in the class, can be. Now the back number child is the child which is also possessed. Maybe in some depressive mood he must have felt something, he lost his brother or something. So he's become depressive. He's depressed, and when he is depressed, then what he is doing, that he is always sulking and he cannot pay attention to his work and he is not so good. Thirdly, there are children who are not disciplined at all. Maybe the father is not disciplined, the mother is not disciplined. But they are not at all disciplined and cannot discipline them. It's very troublesome and they make such problems. They go on answering. The fourth category of children that they have reported are really very violent type. Extremely violent. They want to bash this, break that, and every sort of thing. It is impossible to understand why they do it. But my own theory is this, that if the children are told all the time that this is very important, carpet is important, don't spoil these, all material nonsense we talk to them, then these children sort of develop an kind of an antagonistic, you can say, or a kind of a opposition to that kind of a suppression. And then they want to destroy everything that they see as a possession. So how should we manage these things is a big problem. The last and the least is the most horrifying thing is that they start taking to sex life very early, very early. They'll enter into the teacher's bed or into some friend's beds, and that's horrible. And for this, I don't know whom to blame, but maybe that, again we can say gene, but the newspapers, the media, all those things are teaching children all these things. Horrible films we have. I mean, they come into hell, born into hell. So they learn these things sometimes. I don't know how, And it's very difficult to get these things out of their mind. There's no innocence at all. At a very, very young age they do it. Some people say that because children are sometimes molested or something, so they develop this in their childhood and they go on developing it more and more and more. But still I just don't know what is child molestation is supposed to be. Why such stupid feelings come into people's mind? They also ruin their own children. So if you see, the whole thing is that one point is missing, and that is we don't love our children as we should. We should punish them in case we find they are not all right. It is our duty to teach them discipline, not only for their good, but the good of the whole society. There's a story in India that there was one thief and then he murdered people, he did this and he did that. So he was to be hanged. They asked him, have you any desire before being hanged? He said, only one, please call my mother. So they called the mother and he went and bit her hard on her hand. So why are you doing this? He said, because when I did the first crime, you didn't say anything to me. You tried to hide it and you didn't do anything to me. That's why now I'm being hanged. So it was your duty to correct me at that time, whichever way it was possible. But you did not do it. So the love of a person should not be such that it should spoil people. Say now, if I am your mother, I love you very much, you know that very well, and you also love me. But if I have to correct you, I must have courage to correct you and tell you what I want you to do. You need not get into temper or anger. I think very seldom I really get angry with people. But you have to tell them. So you start now, as you are Sahajogis, your children are born realized, and Sahajogis the other way around. That you are all Sahajogis, you tell your children, you can't behave like that. Put the dignity into their mind. Tell them that this is the way you have to behave. Otherwise you are not Sahajogis. Give them the credentials, I would say, of Sahajogi. That you are Sahajogi, you are born realized, you cannot behave like that. But I have seen some people try to fight with others for their own children, which is absolutely wrong and immature behavior. If somebody says something to your child, it's all right, and you should try to accept it very well. See that at least somebody has told you about your child, and you must correct. Is a real loving father or mother concerned about it? Not only to protect him and protect all the vices he is developing. Now as it is, in the Western life there is such an attack on innocence, I can see this. Such a lot. Because why should they kill their children? I've never heard of such a thing in India, that anybody is killing their children. I had a washerwoman, she was staying in our house we had quarters for them. And she had 11 children. And I had gone away to Lucknow. I was building a house. And in the meanwhile, you see these people, they cook starch in the house. And in a big pot they cook it. And this, by mistake, you see, she had so many children, this child crawled up to it and died. He got into it and he died. This lady had 10 children left. She was like a mad woman. crying, weeping, not eating. When I went back, she had not had her food for 20 days. She had not even taken water or anything. So much she was crying. I told her there are 10 children you have got. Now one child God has taken away. So why are you crying for that child? She couldn't get over it. It took her months to get over it, that she has lost one child out of the 11. But when I hear of people who kill their 2 children who are there, and now the children are killing the parents, can you imagine? There was recently a case in England, 2 boys, I think 8 and 10, got hold of one little child in the supermarket and killed him and put him under the railway track. Imagine. This sweet age of 8 and 12, what nice things children can do. What nice things they can do. Instead of they went and killed one child. Why? We should introspect, we should find out. I wouldn't blame anybody here, but I would say that we should understand why children do like that. Firstly, they must get affection. They must know somebody loves them very much and dearly. And secondly, the respect. They should know that they are very much respected and they have to be respectable. Thirdly, they should know also that they belong to a very prestigious family of Sajogis. They can't do all this. Their attention also is to be such that they understand what they are doing. In the West, children don't have that attention, I tell you. Normally what attention we have in the East, we don't find it. That children, even if they are realized souls, they have the same attention. It has to be brought in. I remember my mother always used to, where is your attention? All the time. Sister, where is your attention? I was quite a philosopher, so I used to go into meditation. So she used to say, where is your attention? I said, inside, it's all right. But I never minded, nobody minded it when she said, where is your attention? Attention is a very important thing. Where it goes, what it says. So when, say, children are describing something, tell you something, they're very sweet. You should ask them questions. You must see that you ask them questions and they answer you. Very sweet, sweet things they answer. But in that you should see where is their attention. What they are describing and what they are saying to you. Because they are realized children. And the realized children always talk in a third person also. Like you tell them now, you better go home. So they'll say, this boy will not go. I tell you. It doesn't want to go home. This boy will not go. Meaning, this boy is different from the one which is speaking. So they speak like that. And the way they speak and the way things they say, it's beautiful things they say. And one lady tried to write down certain things the children had to say about politics, about politicians. And then she wrote a book, and the book was sold within 1 week's time. It's so sweet. I mean, innately all of us have the same type of sweetness for our children, except for some, I don't know what sort of people are they, who have a different reaction. But for Sahajogis, you see, in collectivity, you must try to bring your child in a manner that he doesn't feel that he belongs to you all. There should be no competition. You should also praise other children, and never try to praise your child. It's not good manners, I tell you. It's not good manners to praise your child. My child is like this, my, nothing. But you praise others' children first. And the child will see that also. And he'll also praise other parents, not his own. If he learns that, then the collectivity improves, that you start seeing good things in everything. And now, as I tell you, it's a very dangerous situation. when I read about the genes and the no protective genes. Because I remember once one student who had gone to Cambridge, he came back and he said, what surprises me, they take to drugs like a venture. They take to anything bad like a venture. While for us, we are frightened, we think this is wrong. All throughout we know it is wrong. We are doing wrong, knowingly. He told me, I don't know how they get over this protectiveness. They just go headlong into it. Anything, a love affair with any unknown girl, they'll sleep with anyone. How can they do it? They don't even think whether it is right or wrong. That's what is true. That to introspect and see for yourself whether it is good or bad is very important. Now also we have some national problems. Different nationality has different problems. But in Sahaja Yoga, I think we are washed of all these things. I have known some people who were drug addicts. The first 7 who came to me, out of them 4 were drug addicts. And they told me they couldn't see me. They were just seeing lights coming out of me, that's all. Some sort of a miraculous photographs they had become, I think. And they couldn't see me in one person. And one came and just was there like a coma, she was sitting like this. So difficult. And one of them was a professor of physics from Australia, because I don't know where he has disappeared. This fellow, he was a professor of physics from Cambridge, and so much in the drug that I asked him, I said, what's your name? He went on, I said, I asked you, what's your name? You asked me my name? I said, I did ask you my name. You said, what is my name? I said, yes, I did say, what is your name? Went on for 5 minutes. He could not come to terms with his name even. I said, what sort of this drug addiction is there? It's too much. But then he got all right, he improved a lot. And he was just dying with liver. But he got all right, I took him home, treated him, he was all right. So, see, with such dull brains, because this drug definitely harms, really definitely harms the brain cells. Because the way I have seen, after coming to Sahaja Yoga, they got realization. Very intelligent people, some were PhDs, I call them PhDs, MADs, see. And all of them, these PhDs and MADs, were so much harmed, so much harmed. I asked them, you are such intelligent, educated people. Why did you take to drugs? For experience of what? Experience of spirituality. I said, who told you? Some guru told them or somebody told them. But I said, in India, nobody would think that these drugs can give you spirituality. He said, no, such and such guru came from there and he told us that you take to drugs and you will be spiritual. I mean, people like Rajneesh could thrive. Means all these gurus knew that if you tell them something that are the weaknesses of human beings, they'll take to it easily. Not in India. If Freud had come to India, I tell you, I don't know, he would have been cut into pieces perhaps. Nobody would have tolerated nonsense like that, the way he was talking about the mother's love. So all such people have been accepted blindly, all over. See, you not only in America, but also in UK, there was one boy who came to me who was the disciple of this 14-year-old gentleman, Guru Maharaj Ji. And he was actually on potato diets. So I said, why are you on potato diet? Because my Guruji has said that if you give me a Rolls Royce, then only I'll come to England. He already had, I think, 53 or something. So we have to give him a Rolls Royce, so we are on a potato diet. We are saving money. I said, why are you doing that? Saving money for potatoes. Out of potatoes, how much are you saving? He said, we are saving quite a lot. We are sure by the end of this year we'll have lots of money to buy a Rolls Royce. Ah, but I said, why are you doing it? He said, why do you want to give him money? Why do you want to give him a Rolls Royce? He said, because you see, this Rolls Royce is just metal, but he's going to give us the spirit. Which spirit? And really this fellow was ultimately died. You see, this one died. Because I don't know what harm they do to people. But Rajneesh was using all kinds of dirty tricks and people took to it. And that is why I want to tell you that you should all be very careful. Also among Sahajogis we had some problem in Melbourne. Somebody came from Portugal and he learned certain things from Nepal and he did some tricks there. So among us also maybe somebody who thinks that he should show that he is a great Sahajogi, take to some so-called spiritual life and try to create problems. So we should not have groups. We should have no groups. Nothing should be a secret. Everybody should know what everybody is doing. That is how collectively we'll be all right. Because supposing somebody comes and tells you, all right, I'll make you something special, and for that this is to be done. It has happened before with your leaders also, that they used to tell them in their ears that mother has told me to do this, mother has told me to do this. Never listen to such people. You've got leaders whom you can ask what is good and what is bad. If not, you can even write to me. But don't listen to such people who are telling you things just to destroy. Destroy Sahaja. Destroy the only hope for the whole world. You have to be very, very careful about it. And if you are careful, I am sure you have now the insight, you have now the powers, you have now the authority. Everything is there, no doubt. But vulnerability is the problem I sometimes feel. For that you have to be very, very careful. Because now, as you see in Sydney, it started in a very bad way. And now we are so many sensible people sitting here, who are my children, of whom I am very proud, very proud. But at the same time, please try to understand that you are surrounded by vultures actually. And the whole atmosphere is full of such things, because I see your newspapers, I see your media and really shocked. Much worse than you could see in India. Though in India also these things have come now, the Western life is coming there and many people are taking to it, no doubt. But only in big cities and very few people who are supposed to be very rich or elite, they try to do all this. This will all go away, I am sure, one day. Then another point is, apart from your family, your children, where normally people are glued into, you are Sahajogis, you are not only for your family, for your country, but for the whole world. Then attention should be on all such things. For example, I read about what is happening in Johannesburg or Natal and how the people are massacred there and what they are doing there. I was very disturbed, couldn't sleep, very disturbed. And I decided this year I must go to South Africa. Also Yugoslav is another problem, where these stupid Muslims are killing themselves. All their funny ideas are working out in such a disastrous way that they must die now in the name of God. So after the Qiyamah comes in, the resurrection time comes in, they'll come out of their graves and they'll get resurrection. Such stupid ideas are also for Christians, for Muslims, and also for Jews. Now imagine those who died 500 years back, what will come out of their graves? But the sensible idea is from Naladamaintyakhyaan that all the souls will be born again and there will be population problem. But they will be born again, souls will take forms and they will seek their realization and many will get realization. Which is a very sensible thing to say, that the souls, not the body, from the graves. And that's why they were occupying such a lot of land all over, that in Spain what they do is to put the dead bodies in rocks like this. They cut a piece and push it there, one after another. They go on pushing all these coffins inside a rock like that, all over. I was wondering, what is this made like this? Like drawers, In these drawers they put it and they push it in. They are all there and they are all going to come out when there will be resurrection time, and all of them are going to get their realization. That's why these people, Muslims in Sarajevo, or you can call it the Yugoslavia, they are killing themselves stupidly. Also they have no wisdom to see that this is wrong. How can it be that our dead bodies will come out? There's a ship coming and the children are. So very sweet, really. They are what, private owners or? Very sweet. It just crawls or in the water. So now our attention should be global. If Sahajogis put their attentions, global, you don't know your powers. How important it is. Just put your attention now, say, to South Africa, with the Natal, where they are having all these problems of suppression. It will help, very much help, you don't know. Things will subside, because through you this all-pervading power, Param Chaitanya, will focus itself there. You are the one who can focus. You should have your global attention there, and you should see for yourself very serious problem. I am doing on my own whatever is possible. For that you must read newspapers, but not all the nonsense of the newspaper, but see where is the problem is, what is happening. Because you are in Sydney, but you are responsible for the whole world. Wherever you are responsible for the whole world. Now there's a very good thing that has happened in Russia. I don't know if you have that paper with you? Russian paper? No. You have that?
Yes, you got, yes,
Hi. And see the Russian University of St. Petersburg, which is the oldest in Asia, perhaps oldest in the whole world, has got now only 10 people as member of their academy, and one of them is me. I'm surprised. So when they applied, they applied for my membership, they wrote, I can't read it, it's too much for me. They wrote, this application, and saying that I should be appointed as one of the members. Einstein is one of the members, can you imagine? I was surprised that they have put me with Einstein. And I was quite ashamed the way it was done. So they said, what? What is Einstein? What has he done? He is just working with the matter. But you have worked with human beings, you see. So, can you read it out? Just see their attention. I mean, this is the vice president of that academy who applied for me. I think you talk on this thing will be better.
Shri Mataji, shall I read the whole lot of it? That's the whole...
Yeah. This is how they had applied. They'll be happy to know about their mother also.
This is addressed to the Presidium of Peter's Academy of Arts and Sciences. It's the official presentation of Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi for election as an honoured member of the Academy. Mrs. Nirmala Shrivastava, Doctor of Philosophy and Medicine, a distinguished authority on the fields of religion, philosophy and science, by her noble activity does very much to promote happiness and friendship of Indian and Russian peoples and all the nations of the world. She was always regarding our land as a centre of the world's spirituality and morality, centre of rapprochement, people of West and Orient, the centre of the revival of sublime ideals which have been put forth by Russians and many other nations of Russia. Being the founder of the elevating teaching of Sahaja Yoga, Mrs. Nirmala Devi Shrivastava absolutely reliably connects physical and psychic health of a man with the mode of his life and morality. Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi was born in 1923 on the 23rd of March in Chhindwara, central part of India, in the noble Christian family. Having revealed her extraordinary abilities already in childhood, later she got the high medical education and took an active part in the struggle for the national independence of India. In 1947 she married Mr. Shrivastava, and now they have two daughters. Sir C.P. Shrivastava for 16 years occupied the post of General Secretary of the International Naval Organization of the United Nations. Having been unanimously elected for this post 3 times in succession, now he is the Honoured General Secretary of this agency. During the elections to the Prime Minister of India, Sir Shrivastava held office of General Secretary. He was rewarded by 34 awards of different countries. The Queen of England marked his retirement, granting him honorary title of Knight Commander of the Order of St. Michael and St. George. Mrs. Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi and Mr. C.P. Shrivastava, considering the Russian people to be spiritual and pure, see in our motherland the centre of spiritual revival of the world. Being absolutely sincere, from the bottom of my heart, I recommend to the Presidium of Peter's Academy of Arts and Sciences to elect Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi to be an honoured member of our Academy. And this was spoken by the Vice President of Peter's Academy of Arts and Sciences, Mr. Voronov.
Very nice man.
Jai Shri Mataji.
He even came to my puja. Can you imagine? He did the puja and gave me some very nice present also. And I told him that I have never graduated in science or philosophy or anything. So he said, that's why you are so great. I said, why? Because none of the discoverers have ever been to colleges or university. Very nice person, very nice. And he is willing to come to India any time you want. Then I met another personality who is called as Ayatollah, means a person in charge of religion. His name was Rouhani Ayatollah. And Rouhani Ayatollah is a gentleman. Rouhani, Ruha means this all-pervading power or spiritual. So he was in charge of religion when there was this rule of the king. And afterwards he had to run away from there and he came to Paris and settled down there. Now his younger brother is also an Irani, is voted for becoming the new president of Iran. So this old one, the one who is a very strict and you can say a very fundamentalist type, he arrested those 6 families which supported him and took an affidavit from them saying that no, they are not going to support him. But if you all put your attention to it, he might be elected. And if he is elected, that's the saving of the Muslims then. Because they are Shia people, and this Rouhani gentleman is so wonderful. He touched my feet and he danced when he got his realization. I mean, some things are happening which are so much of joy. Even in my country, I find India, that there's a big recognition of Sahaja Yoga, and which is so obvious that people are recognizing the purity of Sahaja Yoga. Let us see how far we can go. But in Brazil also they have the president of the Senate called me, got his realization, he was very happy. He called his secretary, everybody, asked them to get their realization. And then they sent, you see, they said that Brasilia, they have selected, is the one, is depicted by some philosophers as the center of spirituality. And when they came, he called all other people also, and their vice president was there. The president was already impeached. So this vice president, I never liked him. I said, funny person he is. And then he was arrested. So many things, like Italy also, lots of things are happening. Maybe all this might just change the atmosphere. You know about Marcus, who was in Vienna, who troubled us so much, did so much against us in the newspaper and all that. This Marcus fellow, I don't know what has gone wrong with him, or he's come round. Now he's saying that you can live in this ashram for 2 years without paying any rent. I'll also give you money that you can purchase a land. Afterwards you can leave the house. And he says the Maya was too much for me and I got lost. I hope I'll be back again in Ganpati. Can you? So all such things are happening, and it's tremendous, because you can't expect a person like Marcus coming around like that, you see. So Sahaja Yoga is showing its own success, and you all can add to it. You have seen among yourselves only, there are so many beautiful people who come out of lot of troubles. All troubles can be overcome. There's no problem about it. Only thing, one has to be sincere and attached to Sahaja Yoga. You may be a family man, you might be a father, mother, anything. But first and foremost thing, you are a Sahaja Yoga. I tell you about myself also. You know, I have a family, I have my husband and all that. And whenever, you see, it was needed, I always said Sahaja Yoga first. Even money wise, I would say that if you have to spend any money, then spend on Sahaja Yoga. So the first thing was Sahaja Yoga. All these are secondary. All your art, all your business, all your music, or whatever line of life you take is a second. The first and foremost thing is Sahaja Yoga. And you get in that everything. But you do it very sincerely, respectfully. If you think you are not in it, then you better understand that if you are not in it, you cannot be there. You have to be fully into it, you see. So either you are in the sea or you are outside. It's like that. And this will give you the greatest pleasure, greatest fulfillment of life. I can see that's happening now and I'm very happy. And as I said, I'm very proud of you. It should happen everywhere. And with all my love, I bless you that you all should really become great Sahaja Yogis, very, very great Sahaja Yogis, and you will be all known all over the world. May God bless you.
अब हम सब श्री माता जी की आरती करेंगे।
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने अवतार माँ, कितने अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा। तू गंगा यमुना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको माँ, सुख ही मिला उसको। बैठ के दिल में हो माँ, बैठ के दिल में हो माँ, लौट के ना जाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियारा माँ, कर दिया उजियारा। कल युग में माया है, कल युग में माया है, फिर भी पहचाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। संत जनों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता। इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर, दुख से दूर करना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना।
आदि शक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
श्री माता जी, आज इस ध्यान के माध्यम से जो परम चैतन्य की अनुभूति और आपकी आशीर्वाद हम सभी को मिला है, इनके लिए आपके श्री चरण में कोटि कोटि प्रणाम और हृदय से धन्यवाद करते हैं श्री माता जी। जय श्री माता जी।
मेरी शहनाई माँ को पुकार रही है, देखिए किस तरीके से पा में माँ की आवाज आ रही है, बार बार कह रही है माँ माँ माँ। सादा